1 second. We'll go get started. About a couple minutes. I'm going to go ahead and get stuff set up first. All right. So, how's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing today? All right, we're gonna assume you guys are doing all good. All right. Okay. 1 second. Let me go ahead and send a message really quick. All right, so first of all, happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, first of all. So pretty sure it's China class, so maybe China don't celebrate Halloween, but happy Halloween to all of you, either way. It's tradition that we dressed up here, but I mean, it's okay. Dressed up with some dangerous clothes. Anyway, we'll go get started right now. So let's see. Let's go start by talking about this. Let's go start by talk about what we learned last week. So let's talk what we learned last week. So does anyone remember what we talked about last week? Okay, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, November 1st, right? Okay. Yes. Peter says, yep. Flask. Yep. That's what we talked about from last week. Building a Python web application using Flask. And we also talked about some HTML as well, yes. So again, the homework is for those of you who don't know HTML, learn HTML for this week. Because since HTML is pretty easy, I'm not going to spend time to really talk about that. But yeah, so that's the like a review from last week. Today, what I'm going to focus on is database. That's what we're going to focus on. Today, we're going to talk about database. Database is basically where your information will get stored. All right, where you will store your information. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and get started by creating a new repo, a new GitHub environment by typing bit.ly/github1. By the way, I'm maybe not as energetic as prior week's classes because it's an exhaustive day for me, like really exhaustive. So maybe not that energetic. I apologize beforehand. But I'm gonna see. Hopefully, I can keep doing this 2-hour class for no problem. All right. So I guess what we're going to get started actually is let's go ahead and 1 second. Go ahead and get started. So in case you forgot how to create a new Git environment, here's a link. Do that. Click on that and it should be creating a new Git environment for you. All right. Okay. So, all right. So today we'll go ahead we'll go ahead and talk about more on Flask as well as some of the database. But first of all, has anybody heard of database before? After 1 second. All right, so has anybody heard of database before? Peter, what does database mean? Since you heard of it.
I heard of like I don't mean like I know like the Python database. I just database like libraries and stuff. It's not
Okay, so database is not in Python. We can relate it to Python somehow, but database natively is not in Python. Excuse me. Let me the trusty drawing pad out. Database. So the type of database we can talk about is SQL database. SQL database. All right. Has anybody heard of SQL with SQL before?
Yeah, a bit.
Okay. Do you want to explain what you know, Peter, or whoever just talked? So does anybody want to elaborate on what is exactly SQL and what it's used for? Okay. Again, Peter, I don't want you to just Google it because everybody can Google it. So what I want you to, okay, so how about this? It's great to practice your English skill as well. Peter, paraphrase whatever you just copied into 1 second and explain it to us.
let me think.
Paraphrase whatever
Type
just
of domain specific language is called SQL and is used in programming and managing data held in a database management system or for stream processing.
Okay, well we're gonna count as that's something, right? That's something. Does that okay? So SQL, what it is a structured query language. It's just basically to get the data, fetch the data, insert the data, remove the data, delete the data, do whatever you want with the database. Specifically, it's a relational database. Relational database. All right, specifically, it's a relational database. All right, okay. So now let's go ahead and start to designing our first database. Okay. So we'll go ahead and do that by doing something like this. So we're going to go ahead and go to our Git pod. Go to our Git pod. And in here, we're going to create a new file. And then call it db.sqlite3. All right, db.sqlite3. So there are a lot of versions of SQL. There are a lot of versions of SQL. All right. For example, the two we're going to use for this class is SQLite and PostgreSQL. SQLite and PostgreSQL. So these are the two databases we're going to talk about. We're going to use SQLite, specifically 3, for development purposes. Development purposes. We're going to use PostgreSQL. PostgreSQL for deployment purposes. Deploy just basically means make it alive on the internet. All right. So, whoops. All right. So let's go get started by doing this. I want everybody to follow me on this step. Actually, you don't have to. Let me get, actually, I still need to explain what a SQL. So, let me take a look at my agenda. Okay. So, oh God. All right, 1 second. So let me go ahead and draw a sample SQL database for you. All right. SQL database is really easy to understand. So you can imagine this is a SQL database. Databases are usually shortened as DB. And in here, we have 2 tables. All right. For example, one table's name is user. Another table's name is, let's see, what is another? Is let's say, let's see, what's a good example? Okay, let's just take a look first table first. Okay, let's say I'm exhausted, so I cannot think about a situable second table name. But for each table, can anybody tell me the 2 things that each table have? 2 things that each table have. Begin with the R and the C. Begins with the R and the C. Yep, row and column. So this is a row and this is a column, right? So most of the time, there will be a column called ID. ID is a way to uniquely identify an element, where in this case, you uniquely identify a row, uniquely. All right. So it didn't need to do like so there's no way that I can miss it. All right. And more of the time, the ID gonna be what we call auto increment. Means there will be no repetitively ID, and there will even if you deleted some of the rows, the ID is still gonna keep on moving. They are not gonna use the ID even deleted. Okay, that's auto increment. So ID, and then maybe in here have something like username. That's a user. All right, for example, ID 1 is username Boyuan12. ID 2 is Ronnie J5, which I just made it up. All right, I just made these 2 usernames. Okay, so you can see this is the example of a table. You can see each table have a name. So overview, SQL database is made by different tables. Each table has a table name, has column, so like headers. For example, this ID, the username has the column name, and now we can insert rows to different tables. All right. So this is the structure of how SQL looks like. Does anybody have any question? Does anybody have any question at all? All right. If no, now let's go ahead and take a look of how SQL looks like. So I'm going to share my screen. So now let's go create our first SQL table. All right. Can anybody give me a name for a SQL table? Just yell it out, please. Just yell it out.
Grapes.
Grapes. What do you want to store about grapes?
How much sugar content every single grape has on average.
Sugar. Anything else you want to store? And let's just say the type of the grape.
Flesh and skin ratio.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to try to keep it not that scientific. All right. Okay. So you're just going to say sugar and type. All right. So basically, we want to create a table called grapes. Gonna have 3 columns: ID, sugar, contain, and the type of the grape. All right. I actually don't know any type of the grape, to be honest. I just know the color of the grape, but it's okay. So now what I will do is this. So now pay a close attention. I want you to go ahead and type IPython in your terminal. Go ahead and type IPython. It's not developed by Apple, but just type IPython. Press enter, and then you should see something like this. All right, you should see something like this. Type yes in the chat if you see something like this. All right. And then what we're going to do say is this. So import SQLite 3. Import SQLite 3. All right. So recall that import is going to import some other code that other people wrote. So like other code. SQLite 3, well, on the other hand, is the module name. We're trying to import SQLite 3 so it can work with SQL. Right? So here we're going to say this. So say con equal to SQLite3.connect. Be sure you have this file created first, and here type db.sqlite3. Okay. And then here we'll type c equals to con.cursor. Press enter. Okay. That's what we got so far. Import SQLite3. Con equals SQLite3.connect db.sqlite3. C equals con.cursor. All right. But be sure you have this file created first. Does anybody encounter any issues while creating that? Please unmute and let me know. If anybody is ever trying to talk, feel free to talk. All right, seems that everybody is good. I'm just going to proceed from that. So now what I want to do is this. Now I can do now what I want.
Wait, I can't see.
Okay, well, just type. Okay, yeah, my apology. You don't need to really worry about that command, but just type clear to just clear the terminal. That's not really anything you need to do. You don't even need to do that procedure. All right, so now we're gonna type c.execute. We're gonna type c.execute. And in here, you're just gonna say create table grapes. And then we're gonna go as a parenthesis. All right. And the ID gonna be integer auto, let's see. Integer, okay, so long time being. Primary key, auto increment. All right, so you can see what's gonna happen. What's happening here is that the column name. We got the column name and type of the column. column name and column type. All right, column name and column type. Okay, Jimmy. So where's your last command? So what did you type when you still can't hear me? Because I need to know when do you need my help. Jimmy. You heard from the column name. Okay. Did you type? All right. Did you type import SQLite3? Did you type that? No. Okay. So what I want you to type is this. So all other people, you don't have to watch this part, okay? Don't watch this part. That's just like repeat. So Jimmy, take a look. Go ahead, type IPython in your terminal. All right, go ahead, type IPython, Jimmy. And then go ahead, type import SQLite3. Con equals to SQLite3.connect db.SQLite3. Be sure you have this db.SQLite3 file first. Press enter. C equals to con.cursor. All right. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. So yeah, just press enter and then you are all good. All right, do you still need me to share to show the code? Have you write all them down yet? Timmy? What do you mean you are not sure? Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, you either type or it didn't. And you should probably know that. Okay. Either way, Jimmy, could you go ahead and share your screen, please? So I can double check. Don't type exit. Don't type exit. Did I type exit? Oh, my bad. Yeah, you are good. You are good, okay? All right. All right. Okay, so this is the code so far. So you can see we're trying to create a table, create a SQL table, which has a primary key called ID, and the type is auto, and then auto increment. And now gonna have sugar, which is gonna most likely be a real number. Real number basically means a decimal number in SQL. All right. Real number basically means decimal number in SQL. And then, or I hope real will work. And then here we're just gonna type, which we're gonna say varchar 255, because I don't think there's any grape on earth that is that's longer than that. I didn't type anything. Well, I mean, I did type clear, but you don't need to worry about that. Because I'm clear, C-L-E-A-R in I4, in 4. All right, and then let's go ahead, press enter. All right, 1 second. So you can see all 2 increments are only available on integer primary key. Navigate back, and let's go ahead and say integer at the top. So again, you can use up arrow and the up and down arrow to navigate through the terminal, aka shell. All right. All right. And then just add integer in front of it. And now because it's gonna suddenly come in with so much stuff. But then one more thing we need to do is that con.comment. Con.comment. All right. Con.comment. And there you go. And there you go. Okay. Now successfully create the first table. And let's go through the syntax one more time. First, the command we're using is to create table. And come up, so the syntax is this. So it's create table. Create table. And the table name here. And then it's gonna have with a parenthesis, the column name and the type. And then that's the entire command. Okay. So it's create table, table name, parenthesis, inside parenthesis, based on how many columns you have, you're gonna type the column name and the type there. Okay. All right. Okay. So there's a sequel about how can we go by with create a table. Go by create a table. So now let's go ahead and do what we call a create a row. Go ahead and talk about how can we create row.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you like copy what you wrote? Like the c.execute.
Okay.
Because I keep on getting something wrong. I don't know what.
Yeah, same with me.
Because I cannot copy multiple lines here. Okay, here is a single line. I cannot send the whole thing to you because how it's formatted, there's no way for me to send the whole thing to you.
You can drag, if you exit, you can drag the, like the chat thing, so like all the way to the left, and then it would be.
I cannot hear you. Sorry about that. You're extremely laggy.
If you extend the chat, then you can make it into a single line.
I still cannot hear you. You can try to type in the chat instead, please. I don't know what you mean by extend the chat. You can make a single line. There's no way for me to copy all the comments. Sorry about that. Just make sure how like this comment is the most important one. Oh, thank you, Ethan. You really saved my life. Okay, appreciate you. All right, everybody. Here's the code. Ethan. Okay, Ethan. Let me make you co-host so you can send to everybody. But thank you very much for our great. 1 second. Okay, so here is the code. Let me go set it to set you to TA. Kyle, do you have any further question?
Is it okay if it says function connection dot commit?
What?
Type in con dot commit.
What? Wait, what?
So I typed in con dot commit and then
It's
it.
parenthesis. Don't forget there's parenthesis after it.
Oh, okay.
Then it should be see some certain like function method at some 0x somewhere. What about weird green dot? What? I don't know. Okay, Jerry, you can share your screen if you want to.
Also, how did you get
Oh,
like a bunch of question marks there, like the code?
bunch of question mark. Oh, Jerry, I know why. It means indentation. Go ahead, type exit. Actually, could you scroll up? Why do you need indentation? You don't need any indentation. Scroll up. What? What's going on here? Okay, I don't know. Just type Control C. Yeah, there you go. Yes, yes, yes. Kyle can finish where we are talking.
So like yours has a bunch of like symbols on it, like SQLite format, 3 question mark at question mark, a bunch of the question marks.
Oh, okay. This db.sqlite 3.
Yeah, how do I get that?
We don't have that. That should be created automatically.
Yeah,
That's
when I
literally
typed it in, it didn't do anything.
okay. All right. It's okay. Go ahead and share your screen.
There's nothing here.
All right, 1 second. I'm gonna request remote control so I can do some advanced stuff with this. And that's because you didn't open it. You didn't open the file.
Oh, okay, but wait, why does yours has like so many?
That's a lot, I would say. Isn't that a lot?
Yeah, okay, thanks.
No problem.
Oh, okay, so that's what you had.
Yeah, just so it won't like go through like many lines. It's just gonna wrap it, so it's gonna be easier for me, so I don't have to scroll. All right. Excuse me. All right. So is everybody did everybody do that? Do whatever I just did. Okay, Jimmy, let's see. We accidentally took backspace and was like, oh, it's okay now? All right, thank you for letting me know. All right. So now let's go ahead and talk about how to insert a row. All right. To insert a row is also easy, pretty easy. Here we're just gonna say, so in here we're just gonna say c.execute, and now here let's go out and execute some other SQL commands. For example, you can say insert into grapes, and then here we say parenthesis, and then first parenthesis will be the column name. For example, the column name we have is sugar and grape, and the type, not grape. And then here you can say values to represent, okay, then the corresponding values is in this order. So for example, the first value is sugar, the second value is type. So sugar, for example, 5, right? That's a real number. And then type may be just gonna be, I don't know, purple. I mean, I don't know any of grape, but I'm just gonna say purple grape. And then let's go ahead and press enter. All right. Notice the new file being created is created called db.sqlite-journal. All right. db.sqlite-journal. This file created, this first of all, is a temporary file. It is supposed to be. So this file means you didn't commit to the database. You commit to the database. All right. So you gotta commit to the database. For as soon as you make change to the database, it means you delete it, you update it, you insert it, you create something. You must always do conduct commit. So it's actually reflected to our original database file. Now I can see that file is gone because I don't need that anymore. Okay. And now let's go ahead. So now you can see we successfully created a row to our SQL table. All right.
I didn't get finished the code yet.
This is, oh, okay. Well, the code just gone. Okay. Gonna type it again, I guess. Actually, I don't need you. This is the code. Okay. This is the code. And then after, just type conduct commit with parentheses. Type conduct comment with parentheses.
Okay.
All right. Are you done, Peter? Or I'm not sure. Are Peter or?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Did you finish? Did you finish?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sweet. All right. Okay. Then what we're going to talk about now is the select query. It's the select query. I know you guys probably cannot see it, but 1 second. Let me try to just create an empty file. You don't have to do this step yet, but it's just for create empty files so you can see the text better. So select query. So now we talk about how to create a table, how to insert a row. Let's now go ahead and actually get that row. So fetch the data. Let's see, fetch the data. So how can we do that? Well, it's always going to begin with c.execute, as that's how we execute our SQL commands there. And here you can just say select star from grapes. Does anybody want to guess what's going to happen for select star from grapes? And here I actually need to say dot fetch all. What do you guys think select star from grapes is going to do? What's the star usually means? Does anybody want to guess?
Does it mean everything?
Yes, it means everything. So it's going to select every data that's currently have from the scrape table. Now you can see this get returned. We got primary key. So this is the ID that we created. The
No.
sugar.
Now it says that it just says no such table.
And the type. 1 second. That's when you create a table incorrectly. All right. Let's see. I can help. Let's see. Kyle, do you have any further question? First of all, since your hand is still raised. All right. I'll prefer you say something, but it's okay.
No, come on.
Who said that?
Oh yeah, Kevin.
Kevin. Okay. Go ahead and share your screen, please. Spell grapes. Okay, go ahead. I'm not sure because this is because you didn't name your table as grapes. Either create a table that's not named grape where you didn't create the table at all. Could you scroll up? All the way up. Okay, scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. Okay. It's really weird. Okay, let's see. You did grapes. Try without S. I don't think it's gonna work because you did you not? You did comment it. So select start from grape. Perfect, yeah. One second. Okay, let's try this. I'm gonna request a remote control so I can try to type some command, see if it works. Thank you very much. Okay, one second. You didn't create any table successfully. You didn't create any table successfully. That's the issue. You need to go and recreate a table. I'm gonna create it for you. I don't know why didn't you create it successfully. Create table, grapes. Sugar type values. Actually, no. Create table grapes. Sugar is real. E is primary key. Integer. Integer primary key of an increment. Right there. Primary key. All. Sorry, Sorry about that. Auto increment. Comma sugar rail. Comma. Type is a var char to 55. By the way, var char just means whatever you put into the cut is to the parenthesis. That's the maximum character it can have. Okay, so the character is real varied. Let's see. Press enter and copy input. Oh, 1 second. About to close this parenthesis. All right. Con.comments. Con.comments. Let's go ahead and try that again. See that execute. Select star from grapes. All right, there you go. Didn't see any error. That's good. All right, so now I can create, so you can now insert a row into the grapes table. So where I'm controlling right now, do you still remember how to insert a table? I mean, not insert table, insert a row to it into the grapes table.
Oh no, what? Oh my god.
So you forgot or?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so here's a code. And type in the chat. Insert into grapes. First we got sugar type. Here's the code. You can try to paste it in it, see if it works. Or you can just try to type it from the chat. But anyhow, it should work now. Okay, yeah, you need to type it. You need to go ahead and type it. You cannot paste it because how Zoom do the quotation mark thing is not being accepted by Python. All right, so I'm gonna be back in just in a couple minutes. I'm gonna grab a water really quick. Gonna be back in a couple minutes. So for now, you guys, if you're finished, you guys can stay here and just wait, or you guys can finish creating a table if you have to. I'm gonna come back in a couple minutes. Sorry about that. All right, sorry about that. Now I'm back. Okay. So, okay, have everybody create the table and create a row?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Kyle.
When I type in c.execute insert into grapes, it just says syntax error.
Go ahead, share your screen then. Okay, so what you need to do, you cannot just paste it from Zoom. You have to type it. Okay.
Oh, so it becomes orange.
Yes, because how Zoom format the quotation mark is weird. Didn't get accepted to Python's interpreter.
Is this good?
Yes, go ahead and then type con.comment with parentheses, and then you create a URL.
Is it 2 N's?
Con, yep.
Okay.
All right. Let me go share my screen. All right. Okay, so this is what you should see. For now, that's what you should see. And then to double check if you create correctly, you should be able to type c.execute and then select star from grapes, means select everything from grapes, .fetch all. It should give you correct returns. All right, so it shouldn't give you any error, basically. All right. Okay, let's take a look at the return data for 1 second. So here is how the return data is formatted. Return data is formatted like this. It's always gonna it's always gonna wrap into a list, always, and then it's gonna have this parenthesis. Does anyone remember what this is called? What this data type called? Does anybody remember what this parenthesis style data type called? Not list, not f-string, not dictionary. Nope. You guys perfectly missed like that one. Not list, not set. Yes, Kyle get it correctly. It's tuple. It's not a dictionary, it's a tuple. All right. So this tuple is basically gonna have so if it has 3 rows, it's gonna have 3 tuple. However many the rows are, they're gonna have how many amount of tuple there. Each tuple gonna be represented as this. Each tuple gonna have whatever your column is. For example, it's gonna return you 1, 5.0 purple. All right, because I did it. So because I is the ID, 5.0 is the sugar, purple is type. All right, purple is type. Okay. Purple is type. And it's going to return something like that. So this is how select query works. We can also select so now let's go out and create more sugar, more grapes, okay? So in here, let's just say insert into grapes. And then here I can say sugar type values is maybe we can say sugar is 3.28 type is what? What's the type? I'm just gonna say red. I'm just gonna name some color here. Okay, whatever that word is. I need to insert another row anyway, so I can do that for another row. And then let's go ahead and say, press enter. Of course, I got a syntax here. Where is the syntax? 1 second, guys. Oh, God. What gives me syntax here? Oh, okay. Shouldn't have that parenthesis. Gotcha. All right. So it just added. So just have too much parenthesis. So let's go ahead and remove that. There we go. And then all this conduct commented up. And now because there is another row. So let's go create the third row. And the sugar gonna have is 6.18. And it's gonna be brush. Brush, which pretty sure I pronounced it incorrectly. Conduct comment as well. All right, gonna give you guys a couple minutes to comment these stuff up. Going to give you guys a couple minutes to just create just 2 more rows to the grapes table. All right, 2 more rows to the grapes table. All right. Okay. So there are just some there are just a few topics that I just want to talk about before I just talk more. So to see all the since we're not in a professional SQLite environment, we cannot really do that. But when you're in professional SQL environment, you can say dot table. 1 second. You can type dot tables to view all the current tables that created in this database. All right. And then you can also type dot schema to check how a table is created specifically. And then you can also type dot dump if you want to go ahead and create a backup of your database. That's how you can do that. Okay. So again, but don't try to run these because it's not going to work. It's not a professional SQL environment. It's a professional Python environment. But if we have time, we will talk about professional SQL environment, how to set that up. And then we maybe can take a look at running these comments. But for now, you just need to know these. So like when I ask you what is dot tables for, you guys know it's for like to change on the tables. Okay. All right. So now we have all our 3 tables created. So first of all, let's just go ahead and run a star query again. So select star from grape. And now you can see we got 2 more tuples because the tuple represent different row. 1, 5.0 purple, 2, 3.28 red, 3, 6.18 brochet. Kyle, what do you mean by what are the names?
Never mind.
Okay. All right. So these are these 3 rows. That's what we got. So let me ask you a question. So actually, not let me ask you a question, but here. So if we want to do is we want to go ahead and select 1 specific row that the type is brochet. How can I do that in SQL? So you will meet a lot of circumstances like this. For example, you want to log a user in, you need to know the password of the user, right? I mean, you need to know the password of the user and the password in the database. To compare with these two is same. Though you shouldn't do that because that's not secure, just because then you store the plain text password, blah, blah, blah. We'll get to these credential stuff eventually. But in here, what we need to do now, you can use a weird clause. In here, you can just say this. It's a c.execute, select star from grapes, where type equals to brochet. Where type equals to brochet. Press enter. Now you can see only the type brochet return. All right. One second. I'm gonna come back in just a little bit. Sorry, I need to fix something really quick. So I'm gonna be back in just 1 second. Apologize about that. Thank you for patiently waiting. Okay, no, it's not really a break. I need to fix something for my mom. So sorry, but that's not really a break. Apologies beforehand. Not really a break. So, okay. So what I want you guys to do, for now, I'll give you guys a little challenge, okay? So what I want you guys to do is to figure out how can I select how can I select this? How can I select the type is either purple or brochet? How can I select the data from purple, the data from grapes table, the type that is either purple or brochet? Okay, that's what you need to do. If you understand the challenge, would you type something in chat so you know what to work on right now? I mean, nobody. Okay. So again, what you need to do is to try out a way that you can select the type is purple and the type is brochet at once. So that's what you need to do for now. Type something in the chat if you heard what I just said. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and get back in. So did anybody figure out how can I select the type which is purple and the type brochet at once? How can I select both type brochet and type purple at once? Excuse me. All right. Nobody figured it out. It's okay. So what we can do now is what we call a where clause. So now we start using where clause, and now we're going to use a where clause. So in here, you're going to select star from grapes, where type equals brochure, brochet. Kyle, what do you mean by not working? Or type equals to purple. Not petrol. Kyle, what do you mean by not working?
When I type in the execute thingy, it just there's no purple, there's no red, and there's no like brochure.
Did you create the rows?
I think so.
I asked you to create 3 rows in total. Did you do them?
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead and share your screen.
And then so basically what happened was that it kept on doing like this thing, like there was that.
Okay, do exactly what you did. And so I can see it. So I can see when the 3 dots I created. Do exactly what you did.
Wait, can you type what you typed in the chat? Because I don't have it. Wait.
Okay.
I think it was this. It just showed this.
That means it's empty. That means it's empty. Okay, let's see. Okay, you didn't create all the rows that I really want you to create. You probably create 3 exactly the same row. So what I want you to do is go ahead, type these. C.execute.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Parenthesis, insert into grapes, parenthesis, parenthesis, and
Is it this?
yeah.
Wait, how do I get rid of this though? This is like once this showed up.
Oh, okay. Copy from the Zoom's chat. You can't. Don't copy it from the Zoom's chat.
Do I just press Control see if I don't want
Yes.
this?
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, go press enter. There you go. All right, can type contact comment. Don't capitalize it. Don't type all cap. It won't recognize it. All right.
And then do I do the purple one? Or
To the purple. What do you mean to the purple one? Purple. Okay. So do another one with red.
am I
So
already?
the type is red. All right. Press enter. Contact comments. And then yes, yeah, now it should work. Now you run the ESECL.
Okay.
All right. No problem. Peter, just so you know, you can only send it privately to me, okay? All right. So now let me go ahead back here. All right. So now you can see we can use a word clause to connect all these together. So word, just like, so word clause, you can just imagine as a conditional expression. You can type whatever as long as it can only return a true and false value here. Okay. Today we're pretty much just going to talk about SQL because this is important. All right. So let's see. So this is select query. Let's also talk about update. All right, let's go also talk about update. So update basically means when if you want to update some rows within the table. Want to update. So to do that, we can do something like this. We'll do this. We'll say c.execute. And then here just say update from grapes. Set a new value. Set the column name equals to something. So set, for example, sugar equals to 7.95, where type equals to, for example, purple. All right. Let's go press enter here. Okay, of course. I don't think we have grape from here. Sorry about that. Yep, there you go. So update grapes, set sugar equals 7.95, where type equals purple. So it's formatted like this. Okay, so it's formatted like this. So it's update, the name of the table. So it's updates, table name, T name for table name, set, column name equals to a new value, where, and a condition. And a condition there. Okay. So this is basically our SQL update comment. All right. So let's see. Okay. So let's go ahead and type conduct comment to comment the changes and to double check. And here I can just say c.execute. Look star from grapes. Fetch all. Now I can see this purple get modified to 7.95 instead of the original value, which is 5 if I remember correctly. All right. So does any of you have any question? Was update comment? All right. Let's see. So also for the word, if you want to go ahead and do the check whether if the two conditions are true, need to be true at both time, we are going to be using is and, just like how to do it in Python, or and. Okay. All right. So one final thing I want to talk about is this delete. It's delete. So it's basically the same thing, but in here you can just say as the update, but here you can say c.execute delete from grapes. It's just gonna delete a row where Great. Where type equals to great. Equals to purple. Contact comment, since we made a change. Now if we fetch all again, you can see we don't see the type is grape anymore. So we only see these two. All right. So do you guys have any questions? Do you guys have any questions?
Is it okay if I have 2 purple? Cause
It's okay. It's all right. All right. So I want you to notice I want you to just to review that this integer is always going to be unique. It's always going to be unique. All right. Not it's like always. Always going to be unique. Okay. Because like we even said auto increment, which is make it going to be even more unique. Okay. All right. So do you guys have any questions that you want me to help you with? Do you guys have any question? Let's take a look in the chat. No. All right, if there's no question, I'm gonna proceed with a break. Today, gonna get a little bit longer break. We're gonna get a 15 minutes break, a little bit more than 10 minutes, and then come back. We're just gonna review what kind we talked about, play a Kahoot, and we're gonna call that as a day, okay? So thanks for attending, and then see you back in 15 minutes. Have a nice break. All right. So it's 8:05 now. Could you guys type something in the chat to represent you guys are here? All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now I'm just gonna review some of the SQL that we talked about today. Can anybody talk? Okay, how about this? Can anybody tell me one SQL command that we learned today? Just one. Unmute and let me know, please.
Conduct commit.
What? Conduct commit. Okay. Nice.
Execute.
1 second. So commit. What else?
Execute.
That's not a SQL thing. It's a Python. Commit somehow relate to SQL because still commit to the database. Execute, not really, but what about what we write inside of the execute? So we write inside of the execute.
Brackets.
What? No. Okay, what we exactly inside? So what string do we write inside? For example, create table is a command. What else?
Insert.
Insert, right? What else? What else?
Select.
Select. What else? What else?
I don't know if this is right, but fetch all.
I cannot hear you. Could you repeat that, please?
Fetch all, maybe.
I still cannot hear you. Could you like spell it out?
Fetch all.
Oh, fetch all. Okay. Yeah, you could go with select. Yeah. Fetch all. Anybody else? What about what we just talked about before the break? Start with a U and a D. Update and delete, right? That's also one. And that's pretty much you are really gonna use. This is what we call CRUD. Create, read, update, delete. CRUD. Create, read, update, and delete. That's pretty much about CRUD. Okay. You cannot annotate, unfortunately. All right. So that's really all about SQL that we talked about. And then what I'm going to do now is we're going to proceed with a Kahoot. All right. Kahoot covered everything I'm talking about. I already tell you the answers, of course. And then let's, in fact, tell you most of the answers. You don't really need to like do any calculations. This should be a pretty easy Kahoot. And let's go ahead and get started. I'm not going to join this Kahoot because I chose this one and I look through the questions and the answers to make sure that I cover everything. But let's go ahead and get started. Let me just choose some game options. Oh yeah, by the way, you guys are actually competing with the class after that because I figured out a way to compete each other. So like we will see who can win, which class can win. Last week you guys absolutely beat that class. So like you guys absolutely won that class with the Sunnis class. Okay. So let's see, could you keep it? All right. So let's see, could you keep winning for this as well? So we'll go to classic and then load the game pen. Go ahead and go to Kahoot.it. What do you mean, Kyle? Can you open chat to everyone? Oh, okay. No, sorry. You can let me know, do you want to send? I can see if I can send it to you. Wait for another couple minutes and we'll begin. Oh, okay. Well, I guess begin the game. I saw it do a 20-second countdown, but it's okay. Most people should be here. All right. The SQL statement for retrieving rows of data is select, create table, find, or grab. I don't even know what grab, so that probably can help you. All right, you guys are correct. To retrieving rows of data is select. All right, it's not create table. That's how we create a table. Not find. We didn't even talk about this command. I'm not sure do we even have this command. Maybe we do, but all right. Let's see the leaderboard. Justin trademarked, B, Google Quorum, Boyuan, and Pex. Why is my name better lose? Because I don't like win. Just kidding. Better win. Okay, let's go. Each table of data consists of lines and sentences, rows and columns, files and folders, collections, and stuff. This is an obvious one. All right, indeed, it is rows and columns. All right, it's not files and folders. That's not what each table of data consists of. All right, let's go next. All right, Justin trademark, B, Boyuan, Google Quorum. I like trains. I like trains as well. All right, data in database is stored in one or more collections, spreadsheets, matrices, tables. All right, indeed it is table. It's not collections. We didn't talk about that. Not matrices as well. All right, most people can be able to get it pretty easily. Let's see, A is the highest clamor. Great job, A. Justin trademark remain at the first place. Great job. All right, in SQL S3 to create a SQL backup, next to SQL statement to recreate the data, we use what? Memory time, see if we can find where I talk about it. All right, it's kind of like over, but it's dump. I talk about that especially. Dump. There will be 2 more questions about stuff that we didn't really use, but still talking about. Dump, indeed, is correct. All right, back up. Sounds correct, not really, but it's not correct. Save, no. Statements, no. Dump, indeed, is correct. Okay, let's go ahead and proceed. All right, Justin B. Google Quorum, congratulations. All right, to state a condition for the rows to be retrieved, we use a clause called, to state a condition for the rows to be retrieved, we use what? Yeah, still some people choose when, and that, well, if you recall, command that's been using is called this. Select select star from grapes where, notice that where here, where type equals to grape. All right, do realize this is what we call the condition. So not the condition itself, but this is come after the condition. So this is the direct condition. This is the clause. This is what we call a where clause. Okay. All right, let's go next. These are some pretty easy questions, so I really don't explain them much. Wish they can show some code. All right, B gut comes up. Justin, then it's a B. Let's go. Let's keep going. In SQL S3, to ask how a table is created, we use what? Let's talk about that as well. It is schema. Schema is correct. Now .show, .table, .describe. I talk about that. .schema. There's one more question. Is something about that. See if you can remember. See if you can remember. But it's not .show, .table, .describe. All right. So .table, not really. All right. So yeah, some of you get it correct. So great job. P guys on fire. Great. You have the highest answer streak of 6. Nice. Each column in a table row has a blank and a blank. A name and a type, a brother and a sister, a comment and an argument, a goal and a purpose. Indeed, it is a name and a type. Because if you think, how do we actually create a table in SQL? We do something like this. We say, create table. Create table, right? Create table grapes. And then we have parentheses, and here is a column name and the type, ID, integer, primary key. All right. So we have a name, we have a type. All right. And that's clear when we create a table. Great. Wow, got kind of big leaderboard change. So we got Piga, Boyan, and B on the what do we call that? On the Praetorium or something? So on the top 3. Nice. Let's proceed. For a where clause to express that at least 1 or 2 criteria must be satisfied, we use either, were, one of, maybe. Either, were, one of, maybe. All right. Indeed, it is were, because we don't even have other commands. Indeed, you are correct. It is were. It's a word to express the different constraint. All right. So Piga, Boya, and a smiley face. It's on the top 3. Nice. All right. A column that has a primary key modifier requires that all values are. Don't worry about the modifier. Just worry about primary key. So what is some primary key must have? Must behave. Yes, it has to be unique. They don't have to be, I mean, it's like also increment, but still. Then we don't really need to spell a primary key. It has to be unique. All right. So a primary key, again, works something like that. So something like this. ID, some other stuff. For example, ID maybe we'll have 1, 2, 3, right? All right, so the primary key will continue. So basically, when we use auto increment, that's another modifier that we can add. Auto increment, what's going to do is even if we removed number 3 and create a new row, the new row going to start with number 4. It's not going to worry about number 3. It's still in the memory, but it's just get deleted. The ID going to keep counting forward. It's not going to come back. Okay, so that's what the uniqueness of it. All right, let's drop P, guys. See you on fire again. The language of making query to a database is called. Indeed, it is SQL. I don't know why you guys said bash or XML. I didn't even talk about XML. I briefly talked about bash, but it is SQL. Does anybody remember what SQL stands for? Does it talk about beginning after?
Structure language.
Yes, structure, query, language. Nice. SQL. All right. Be sure to remember that. That's important. And then that's the link we're also going to commonly use when we do web development. All right, let's see. Wow, nice job. 4 players just hit the answer streak of 4. Nice. All right. To make a where clause to express that 2 criteria both must be satisfied, we use maybe, or, and both. It's kind of fast, but yes, you guys are correct. It is and, right? I mean, still not majority chose of it. Not majority chose and. In fact, it's mostly some of features were and both, but indeed it is and. All right, because you recall that we said select. So select star. So select star just means select every column. All right, select every column data. Select star from grapes, where type equals to brochet and type equals to grape. Purple. Sorry. So that's what we do for the end. And then finally, take a look. P, Boyuan, smiley face. B, a star in the face, and the Bob. Nice. Final one. In SQLite 3, to ask what table are available in the current database, we use .ls, .tables, .list, .dir. All right. I don't know why Peter says no, but all right. Indeed, it is .tables. I talked about that. Again, I don't think it works with the IPython environment, but it should work with the professional SQL development. So let's just go to next. Let's see our podium. Number 3 is a smiley face. Number 2 is Boyuan, which not certified by myself. Got 12 out of 12. Congratulations to Biga, who got every question correct. According to our runner-up Bob and Bo as well. Thanks for coming to this class. If you guys have no further questions, feel free to leave. The homework will be posted on the website afterward. And then there will be homework for today. For this week, will be posted afterward. But thanks for coming. See you guys next week. If you still have any questions, feel free to stay here and ask me. All right. All right, bye.
Thank you.
No problem. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right.